live from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live show.
I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph. Hi everyone, Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesday Alive Show. I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus. And of course, with me is my colleague.
Hi everyone, I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite. Welcome to the Caribbean. Welcome from Belize in the north to Antigua, Barbuda in the west, and Guyana in the south. Well, actually, Barbados is most westerly, yeah? But Barbados. So we're making a little outline. But welcome everyone to Wednesday Alive. Welcome. Happy to be here. Jennifer, we're in a new era now, girl.
Yes, and of course, I want to see what's anxiety.
Relief.
A lot of anxiety. Terri-Ann, you will swear I live in the US, you know.
Well,
but
we
because
have relatives there, we have people we love there. So.
Oh yes. So it was really, you know, I would put it as anxiety, and I'm saying, why am I so anxious? But you know what? With the result, and I'm not analyzing at all the elections from there. But what I got out of it, I was very happy and dealing with the 50 plus Terri-Ann to see the vice president elect is Terri-Ann 78.
You mean the president elect?
Sorry, him as the vice president. Oh, well, you know, I'm going to go off on the vice president a bit, but let me be sorry, the president elect is 78. And I am saying, wow. Here some of us are, we're talking 50 plus, we're talking 60s, we're talking 70s, we're talking the 5.8G generation, right? So the 50s to the 80s. And you know, you would hear remarks of what you want to do at 60 plus, you know? Once again, 70s, where you going at 70s? So I was so proud, happy to see here is a very energetic man, because I say energetic because you see he running up to the, you know, to the podium there. What we can achieve, and so much we have, so much life that we have in us beyond 50, and we can achieve so much. Well, I don't want to go off on our vice president yet, because you know, as a woman, I have to tell you how I felt as a woman, as a Black woman, as a hardworking woman, as an ambitious woman. Oh, I can go on and on. So let's leave it like that and say congratulations. But what was your feeling, Terri-Ann?
I think I have a huge amount of admiration for Joe Biden. And yes, we could celebrate the ascent of women and stuff like that, but we can only go where we are allowed to go.
Yes.
We can only go where we are allowed to go when you are entering into, if you enter into a world you didn't create, you have to be allowed in. So I have tremendous respect for Joe Biden, and I see that as a continuity of the character and the kind of humaneness that came in with the Obama era, because Obama brought him in as vice president to be a vice president as none other was. He was a very active and involved vice president. So you can't remember anybody else as vice president, but you definitely knew
that's very true.
Vice president was. So that very progressive agenda that you would be assuming the most powerful position in the world and choose as a running mate someone who it is very likely 2 years into your presidency can either equal you or outshine you. That speaks to the personage that is now sitting for me in that office. And I can just imagine how much more will come, because I take nothing from Kamala. I take nothing from her.
Yes.
Nothing. But with all that she has, and with all the other women who are as capable, Jennifer, you and your capacity will sit down right there unless somebody opens a space for you to be able to. You know, so in that way, I really, really, I am still in awe of from what we know of Joe Biden, what he has done and can do,
Yes.
and even more. You know, in some ways, I am so looking forward to seeing what Jill Biden as a working, real first lady will be, because I think she will continue her career and she will be first lady. So it's all
We will see whether that can be balanced, whether she can balance that.
I think with Joe as a husband, she will, and she's been doing it. I think there's so much to watch. And then outside of it, as I, you know, people who look at my Facebook posts will see my person of the year is Stacey Abrams.
Wow. Again, I mean, Terri-Ann, I read her story. You know, it is fantastic. Very, very inspirational.
Yeah. That's you know, and we were talking before, and you know, I always say, you hold up, we hold up these role models, and I've been looking at, when was it? Is it yesterday? She was talking to a reporter, MSNBC commentator, and he asked her, so have you been celebrating? What did you do? She said, well, I gave myself 17.5 minutes, but I have a Georgia Senate race to run.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Jen, you think you could work hard like those people work?
Yes.
Yes. I could do that.
I am saying, if you have that vision, and you mentioned there that you have to be given that opportunity, and you know it is not an opportunity that would maybe come your way again, and you have been really focused on this is what you want to achieve. When that door is, there's a little, as I would say, there's a crack in the door to give you that opportunity. You just want to, when you see you squeeze through it and you reach inside, man, you're going to be working towards.
No, there's a difference between seeing the crack and going through.
Yes.
But the difference when you're working to make the crack.
Well, that too. And so you because that is that clear vision. That, and not just vision, that belief in knowing that I can do it. And you're not allowing you're just not allowing the blocks in your way. Yeah. And as I said, and they say now to break that glass ceiling, and as a woman, you have to do that. You could only do that if you're working hard towards it.
I think that is I love that culture in people, but I think at this stage in my life, I can't work so hard. Because listen, that is yes. And I know people may say, what is it? But I look at her and I say, you know, let me ask you a controversial question.
Yeah.
You have women who have achieved a lot, and they've broken this and broken that and stuff like that. And sometimes afterwards you watch them, it consumes their life.
It does.
Consumes their life. And I suppose that's the thing that I look and I say, do I want to work that hard? Do I want to work that hard for that cause at this point in time?
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice you have to make. And I like when you say at this point of time, 50 plus, because I'm not sure Stacey age, but I believe they are all, I would say, nearing 50.
30s, 40s.
40s, she's about 40s.
Yeah.
Anyway, I believe, yes. I recall Terri-Ann, and it wasn't, well, I considered myself working very, very hard in those days. And the ambition for me then in the industry I was in, which was the insurance field, in a company that never had a senior female sales manager. There was one before me who really came from on the outside, from other company, and because of the changeover, etc., happened to become she was the first senior sales manager. And I felt, yeah, we need more women, in it and etc. And Terri-Ann, let me tell you, I really worked hard to get to that position, and joining her, and she wasn't there much, long after I was promoted. And when she left, I remained as at that time, the only senior sales manager female. And right now, after me, there's still only one. So what I'm saying is, it is a lot of hard work. I could not have reached there without working hard and strategizing. But you said something there. You have to know when to come off, when to say, because let me be honest. So the main was, so we had the branch manager, the assistant branch manager. I worked very hard to reach the assistant branch manager, and was working very hard towards being the branch manager. You see, that work I had to do literally almost killed me, because I also had my ambition, of course, is to ensure, as a single mother at that time, that my children would have been, my ambition for them, education, etc., etc. It was extremely difficult to balance, and I realized that stress, your choice then, so my choice then would have been, are you willing to really, as you said, we said locally, kill out yourself to achieve that main goal, to prove what? To prove as a woman I can do it, to prove as you say, you break the glass ceiling, etc. And you know what made me decide, hey, time to give up? I was actually ill, stressed, hypertensive, everything. And I recalled one of my salespersons at the time saying to me at a meeting, because they am I frustrated and complaining, and so I become like how they say, that bitchy woman, they only complaining. And she was honest, and she said, I listened to you only complaining, and you're fighting. You're not tired fighting. Do you think it's worth it? And that, as she said that, and the way she said it, I got home and I said, is it worth it? It's okay. Time to come off the stage. Because no, I'm telling you, by that time I'm in my late 50s, and you work it out and you say, I don't have the energy. It is too much. And my priority, what's your priority? My priority was my family. So I hear you, but you have to be extremely passionate and know why you want it.
Yeah, I think.
And if you're willing to die for it, I think that is what it came down to. And I wasn't.
If I use my journey as an example, and that's one model, and a lot of women especially, have to sacrifice a lot personally, whether it's really children, they have to sacrifice a lot to get it there. And I remember, and my colleagues, when I was in the corporate world and going up the ladder and being very successful about it. And I remember looking at the men and saying, why are they not having a tough time? Why are they not sacrificing? Why do they have time to go and play golf or go and hang and stuff like that? And I realized all of them had one very valuable resource. And you know what our resource was? A wife.
Yes.
All of them had a wife. So I decided, and I remember at that time, we had not yet bought our home. We started off, and you just get married, and you're still in scrunt mode. But a path was cleared for me to go where I wanted to go. And I had no female role model that I wanted to emulate. There were female role models, but none of them had a life that I wanted. None.
Right?
None had a life that I wanted. And I looked at the people who had a life I wanted, and they were all men. They were successful, they were relaxed, their life seemed to be balanced, and all of them had a wife and stuff. And I realized, oh, the problem with the women was they didn't have a wife because they were somebody's wife.
Yes.
And they had no staff. So they were doing jobs that were way below their pay grade. So I worked out a little model for myself. Any job where the market rate was, I think I used 1/3 of my hourly rate and below, I'm not doing it. I'm hiring somebody to do it. And I needed a wife. And therefore, I developed a different perspective of who will be in my house helping me. And as far as I was concerned, that wife would not be responsible for loving my children and loving my husband. You see, everything else, you handle it. And I remember at one point, I had a staff of 7 people carrying me in my orbit. I had a hairdresser on call, a beautician on call, a dressmaker on call, a garden person, the house person, and my wife, my housekeeper, well, it wasn't my housekeeper. She was taking care of me. She was Terry's keeper. And to the extent that I had to deal with the house, I delegated house to you. So if I came home, if she didn't feel like wanted to change around the place, or if I come home, make the place change around, no problem. By X day, the house have to be ready for Christmas. I go, you did this. And Jennifer, it worked beautifully. Till I've only had 3 wives in my life. And I'm on my 3rd wife currently. And a couple of years ago, I realized, but Terri-Ann, you don't need this anymore. You've left the corporate world. And I realized our relationship was so strong. I said, no, I can't leave her. I can't divorce. And I said, no, we'll stay. So we adjusted the days and the hours. And that's my little privilege. But the thing comes back to you. And that's why I say, you have to either decide.
Yeah.
It comes into the topic that we're talking about. Who is your avatar?
Oh, yes. And
I'm driving you. And you sacrifice all and get there. Then you have this. Or you could decide to use the old masculine model and say, excuse me, let me see who are around here to help. And it has worked because I have achieved all of my goals. I have achieved a tremendous amount of success. I've shattered my glass ceilings. I've done all kinds of stuff, but not with 1/10 of the stress that a lot of the other female role models that I saw would have been carrying. And for the people I chose to use as role models, I've stacked up pretty good. Because while they had 1 wife, I had a wife and the wife had stuff.
And that's the decisions we have to make.
You have to make decisions.
You have to know how far you want to go and what sort of support you need. But Terri-Ann, I mean, yes, our topic, for those who have joined us and who with us, our topic for this evening is, what's your avatar? But Terri-Ann, I mean, while there was a lot of celebrations for those who in support, those who are Democrats, on the other side, of course, the celebration, no celebration at all. All right? But
they see a bad mind.
And so while your happiness on one side, there was the disappointment and anger on the other side. And I wonder, so in looking at the news, following the news, there was so much talk about what is happening in the US. But locally, Terri-Ann, I was very disheartened, when I saw, and this has been happening, so it's not the first time it has happened, but it just showed on social media about the abuse of the elderly, an elderly, woman who is being abused. And I'm not going into talking about why abuse, etc. But what it said to me is that, I asked the question, what can this lady do? She was definitely helpless. she was at the mercy of whoever was the caregiver or whoever that person was. Clearly, she was at their mercy. And I'm saying, okay, she's really weak. She's not at in the position to do anything. But could she have done something when she was more in a different stage in life? I don't know her age then, but she looked weak and you know, could she have done something in terms of her preparation? First we said the third act for the 80s. Could she have done something different? And that is where had me thinking, us on our stage 50 plus, you know, giving that support to our cohorts, our followers, can we, and we have been doing it, but it just asks me, are we doing enough? What else to set the mindset or let people recognize, hey, let's look at what you could put in place to help prevent, if possible, that abuse, because that has been there. The abuse of the elderly is an issue that has been around a lot. But what can be done? What can we do?
Yeah.
To help prevent that down the road?
Jennifer, if I could take you just said something, and I think the abuse of the elderly is a continuum of abuse of children, abuse of adults,
Yeah.
abuse.
Okay.
So you're an abused child, you become an abused spouse, you're an abused child, or you are an abusive child, you become an abused adult or an abusive adult. And then it goes into the whole notion of when you're old, because it comes back to mindset. And, you know, we were talking about this, and so many of us are afraid to look forward. We don't want to admit that that is inevitable. And two things can kill you. How you keep your body, your health, your wellness. So we eat, we drink, we do exercise, we totally abuse this purpose. And when it reaches the stage where everybody's lifestyle diseases in here, it is tracked back to how you treated me before. You're like, oh Lord. And then on the other side of it, we live like there is no tomorrow, and all our resources are absorbed by consumption of things that really don't last. We outlast them. So we can point of food and clothes and house and shoes and stuff, but no resource has been left. So we don't take care of the body, we don't consume. And then we have a kind of strange relationship with our children and our parents. We come from a generation that I think we are the last that have that obligation to take care of parents. And your parents are, some parents are very sure, others are less sure. I think my parents kind of wondering. They're gonna take care of me. She could take care of me. They're not going to leave me stranded. And therefore they didn't have to be prepared. Now we have a kind of mode, because that's what we did for our parents. We expect that of our children, but hello, we're not raising our children like our parents raised us. So we end up old and needing help. And some of us put our children under guilt trips. And when you force someone to do something that they don't want to do, you're setting up yourself for abuse. And if you present yourself, you don't have resources, you end up in a place where you are subject to somebody else's favor. And when they're ready, you have abuse, you know? So Jen, I think sadly, a lot of us have to, while we have our wits about us, and about those who are being abused, I'm not dealing with that right now.
No, we're looking at those, yeah.
Have our wits about us. We have to have really honest conversation with ourselves. We have to look at our children and say, am I raising children who would take care of me? And I think the best answer to that is children don't do what you say, they do what you do. So ask yourself, how are you taken care of the seniors in your life, because that's the example that you're setting. How are you taking care of people? How are you protecting people? Are you really through your life caring for people? And if you're not, I don't think you can expect anyone to care about you. Now, I don't know the circumstance of people who are in abusive situations right now, and I can't put it, but
yeah,
we sit here and look forward. I think we really have to start that inventory. How have I lived my life? What example have I been setting for my children, my adult children, that they can say, all right, this is what I saw mommy and daddy doing, so this is what I will do happily. Or am I waiting 20 years down the road to turn around and just riddle them with guilt? Oh, I did this for you, why you're not doing, and not recognizing that they live in a different world and are struggling to form their lives and forcing them to come and take care of me out of guilt. Or have I put things in place and I'm okay to go on my own, and if my children choose to, they may step in and say, no, mommy and daddy, don't do that, we handling that. I think that's the honest place we have to be in.
You're correct, Terri-Ann. There are still so many of, and I'm saying us because I'm talking about our 50+ cohort, who believe that we have worked hard, or we're still working very hard to ensure that our children, have a quality life.
Without children understanding the sacrifice, Jennifer.
And that is what I'm going to say. Yeah. We don't have that, as we say, difficult conversation or uncomfortable conversation to really, now we know our children, right? Or those who have the family around us, we know them. We know those who, see, if we are very honest, we could point out and say, see that child, they're not going to take care of me. They're not even taking care of themselves or their own families.
Or, you still taking care of the adult.
Yeah.
You still
so that honest conversation, that uncomfortable conversation you don't want to have, I think that is key. And stop fooling yourself.
Yeah.
Because and we don't know if we can be still taking care of ourselves health-wise, etc. But you don't know, anything can happen at any time. So that conversation is to say, and I ask my daughters that, and if they listen, they will laugh and they will say, listen, yeah, but listen, we're not even sure what will happen to us when that time comes. We don't even know if we will be around. With how things going. And in some situations, some might be abroad. You don't know what's going to happen.
That's a big issue.
Even if they tell you, yes, and my daughter say, yeah, we will take care of you. I say, you see me?
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. But in the interim, let's talk about what could happen. Yeah. You see, if I did all that, I spent money, but at this time, I can't spend and I can't give anymore. Right? I need to see, let me make sure I put aside. So just in case you cannot take care of me, there is money to pay someone to help me, or to pay a home. I would like you to choose, this is the type of home, let me see, I would want to be in. So that will be the discussion. Not that you're not taking care of me, and I'm really happy and proud to know that you will do that. But just in the event you can't, this is what I would like.
Yes, Jennifer.
Yeah. So, Terri-Ann, that aspect of that choice we have to make when we are discussing with our families and asking even, so if they're very happy to take care of us, thank you. But hey, this is what I would like. This is the quality of life I would like, when I reach that stage. And there are different stages at Terri-Ann. We could still be in, you get old and you have to be taken care of, but it's in what state of health you might be in. We don't know.
Yeah.
So really it's about knowing how you want to enjoy that life then, and putting things in place and letting them know, just in case I wouldn't be living with you, you know, this is the type of life I want to enjoy. And let me mention here, and I am saying this because I remember my mom, as I keep saying, is still alive at 98. My dad died in his 90s also. And both of them said the same thing. Don't put me in a home, I don't want to go in any home, because when you go in a home, they will ill-treat you. That is how their mindset was. But listen to me. As I said, they had 8 children. So they're hoping if 6 don't do that, it still have 2 remaining. That may say it's a numbers game. 2 out of 8, so you'll say yes, somebody.
If you have 8, you could say that.
Yes, somebody. But we cannot say that.
No.
We have to be realistic. For me to say, you all don't put me in a home is like saying, what do you want them to do? You don't know what your lifestyle is then. You may not even want to live with them because you don't know what's going to be happening.
They might want you there.
Yeah.
Not you don't want to
So
go there.
listen,
They want you there.
it's reality. We're in a different time, right? Start preparing for the enjoying life. You may be able to stay in your own home and enjoy life, but what happens if you can no longer do that? So that is, is having that mindset and want to enjoy life throughout, and not think that you want to go into that dependency stage.
Yeah. Jen, I will give you, just as we talk about, we are going on to the third act, and the people who don't release second act and want to drag second act with them, you have to do 2 things. You want to stay on the second act stage and you embarrass yourself because somebody gonna kick you off, or you want to take the trappings of the second act stage with you on the third act, and it just don't fit. It just don't fit. I think the same thing happens with us transitioning into that third act, or let's say the third stage of the third act, because we live in homes that reflect, that are monuments and trophies of our second act success. And you see in so many of the old high-income residential neighborhoods, 5 and 6 bedroom houses and 2 octogenarians living in it.
They don't want to let go at all.
They're in a cage. They're literally in a cage. Burglar proof and lock up. Children all across the globe. And some of them, if your house in Diego Martin, the children move to Glencoe. If you're in South, the children move uptown. And you do not want to release. You don't want anybody, you don't want to share your house with another family to share the burden and the cost. You don't want to release anything because this is your status, but it is now an asset you cannot carry, and it's killing you.
I'm telling Terri, when we ask the the topic, what's your avatar? And your what you mentioned, we really need to understand who you want to be at this stage. Because I remember we had a client when she spoke about, she was a caregiver for her mom, and her mom was very particular, but when she traveled and have all these things on display, and and she did not want to touch or move anything or change around the house because what her mom would say. And there she had to be cleaning all these little ornaments or hiring someone who don't want to clean it. We have to make a choice. We really need to release. I also recalled the client who mentioned about, I can't leave my house after, you know how long it took me to save and build this house. So in a big house, had 1 child who don't want to live in the big house. Who find it's too much trouble, because remember, we are aging. So think about it. By the time you reach 70, your child is not a child. Your child is somebody with family. Is a big woman or man. Right? Either a woman or with family. They don't want to come back into your house, especially where you have it cluttered and you don't want to move anything from it. So what do we do? As you said, do you want to just remain in this house by yourself?
Mausoleum. A house that has become a mausoleum.
Or do you want to share it? And that brings me to another idea, that not a new idea, because it's very more popular overseas, where you could agree as active elderly. I don't like to use the word elderly. I have a problem with, but very active third act stage way, active life, that you can come together with two other friends or one other friend, share, and that has happened. And I recall that person converted the house in like 4 units, all right, and invited 3 others. And there are many who may have been widow or whatever reason they live alone. And share, because with that now you could afford to share, even if you want a driver, if you want a housekeeper. So when you're going out together, you can do so much and have a quality life at less cost if you do that, as against keeping this for those who have these large houses. You know, hey, downsize and live. My choice would be downsizing and live a quality life, which is what I'm doing now, right, Terri-Ann?
Can you move or share or downsize? But I think it comes back. You know, we started talking about your mindset and what drives you. You know, what drives you? Because just as somebody may have looked at you and say, "What's wrong with Jennifer? She's killing herself." Another person,
I'm telling you,
who Terri-Ann feels she is. What? But she real lazy. But she nobody ain't washing nobody ain't doing this, and no woman ain't coming in my house. I mean, I got so much of that in my head, and I said, yes, me, I don't be tired, you know. And then
you understand?
You have to choose what you want to put out there. And if you are passionate about a cause, I don't take it from anybody. I don't take it from any. If you're passionate and you're working through, work till you're almost dead, because your cause is important. But if you choose to do it another way, and that's your avatar, you know, have the freedom to honestly say, this is the path I want to take. So when the people start to talk about, oh, she used to live in a big house, now she have to share the house. She have no.
I think that's
not your business. But
if you're not able to deal with those comments, I mean, seriously, you know.
They will talk anyway. They will talk anyway.
And I like that. I remember that. You know, she used to drive a big car. Now, and you know, I have to laugh on that, Terri-Ann. I've decided not to change my car. The car, I stopped counting.
That's your car. You need to give your wing road story. You need to give your in the height of your profession.
But you have to be so self-assured that.
People, let me give you this story. Now, our dear friend across here, Jennifer, is a successful insurance executive and is the first female assistant. And you know, insurance people have to come out and look. So you have to big can stuff. But Madam's priorities were getting her daughter's education done. They were both being educated abroad. One was doing a doctorate and one was getting trained in film and the arts. And Madam looked, and I remember she's in a man's world and everybody driving BMW and Benz.
Oh gosh, car and look is important.
You know what kind of car this crazy lady buy? She buy a wing road station wagon.
And not just a new one, a foreign news, for those who understand. It was so funny because I crunch my figures. Remember, I'm a single mother. Crunch my figures. Look at my priority. And at that time of driving, what was it? A fancy car with the sunroof. I mean, real executive fancy car. And someone asked me, and those days you change in car every 3 years, Terri-Ann, because you can't have the car looking old. And someone had offered me, what had happened, boy? Because it was one of those unique, you know, cars that people like and look good. And when I crunched the figures, I said, if I sell that, listen to me, I was able to sell that car, buy the second-hand ring road, and had enough money for 1 year because you paid. And let me tell you, converting that US conversion is not easy money. And to have that sense of comfort to say, yes, I don't have to bring back my daughter till I could finish pay for her university. And when I got into office, and those who listen and my colleagues who worked with me, my managers who worked with me at the time, especially a particular one, he would be laughing. at the meeting, because everybody pull up, everybody call it.
But the car park is the first indicator of how important
Yeah.
the meeting is.
And they could not help it. One of them at the meeting said, Jennifer, that ring, what is yours? What happened to your car? And I said, I sold it. They said, you buy that? We can't have you as manager driving that. Because that was like if you have no car, you know? So for me, but I'm very, as you all know by now, very, very strong-willed.
Yes.
Know my, my goals, etc. And that car, let me tell you the truth, took me right through the 3 years. At that time, my elder daughter took me through the 3 years. When she finished, I said, okay, I could change the car now.
Yeah. And
And I was okay.
essence of choosing your avatar.
Yeah.
Now, those on social media may see everybody's doing an avatar. So it's an image of what you want to represent you. Some people choose an avatar that's a kind of animated version of themselves. Some people choose one that's really cute and you're not so cute. Or some people may have a comic version. Some people may have superheroes. Yeah, avatar is a representation of what you want the world to see you as. Now, it is your choice whether that representation is real or fantasy, And one of the things that I think both of us have in common is that we've always decided that the avatar we present to the world is real, it's us.
Oh, yes.
And you're not
to be very authentic.
fake image and catching your skin trying to live behind it, or if your avatar presents a rosy picture, you have to put so much energy into hiding and disguising your truth and keeping the secret. Whereas if your avatar, people could have called me lazy, they could have called me what I want. I had a lady who used to come into my house 3 days before Christmas and decorate the whole house, and everybody talking about they went to buy curtain and they went to do this and they went to that, and I watching them like, I don't know what's inside those places. I don't know.
Terri-Ann,
she does it.
Let me give out a next secret. And my ex-neighbors will know. One of my neighbors, very close to me, love cooking and doing everything Christmas. Christmas is a thing to bake and thing. And I always say, I am not a cook, I'm not a baker, I'm not a person for the kitchen.
Yeah.
And every year, Terri, Christmas morning, I just used to give her the money. My ham is baked, nicely decorated. The ham, the turkey, the pastel, everything. And she loved the Christmas morning. She prepared a tray with the Christmas breakfast. And she would bring it for me and the two children. And we have a beautiful Christmas. All I needed to do, and I love doing, is decorating the house.
Yeah.
And she will bring that, plus the ham, the turkey, the pastels. All right? And talk about a beautiful Christmas I had every year until, God bless her soul, she died.
I know so many people. And I worked in an industry that you had to work long hours. And I worked in retail. And I know so many people who would go up to, and they have to go home and do, because they felt for some reason, if they didn't do it.
Oh, yes.
Now, if that's your avatar, that's how you show
that's fine. Yeah.
All power to you. I have no problem with it. But own it and be true. But don't do it and then flop down in utter fatigue and then be vexed because nobody feeling sorry for you.
And complain.
I used to arrange in a store. I used to go and pick up everything. 11 o'clock Christmas Eve night, I go and pick up everything. All right, I didn't even use a plan. What all they make for me? And a surprise bag next day. Out of the corporate world, my love of cooking came out. I am doing it. But my avatar is always, you will see a joyful person, and I am not doing anything that is less than 1/3 of my pay grade. Somebody doing it. And if my pay level drops, it means I have to do more. And if there are things that I used to do that I cannot afford to do anymore, I had a great time when I could have done it before, but now I can't do it. My pay grade fall. Okay, not a problem.
So Terri-Ann, when you get onto the third act, your avatar can change.
The avatar changes throughout your life.
Yeah. So at this stage, Whereas before, as I said, it was working hard, a fight, making sure they try and, do well, etc., etc. Now, I have it. It's a really happy, relaxed, active
Mhm.
60 plus. You know, this is who I am. And I want that. That's my whole, as I say, persona. This is not, to be authentic.
Mhm.
So if I don't no longer, and I really no longer want to work as hard or to get involved in certain activities, that's fine with me,
Yeah.
because this is who I am. And what I have found, and what I would like to send out there to our listeners, is that be true to yourself.
But Jennifer,
You
to
know,
be true to yourself, you must really understand and know what that self is, huh?
well, yes, understand yourself first, because you can get a lot of pressure if you don't. You can get a lot of pressure from the negative comments you're talking about. Because I also heard, I can't believe that you having someone do your harm and taking the video. I mean, so what? I mean, you can't believe that. Man, think about, you get up that morning, you go to church, come back, and say, this is life, I have to do anything, you know? But sit down with a nice tray in front of me. I am happy, the children happy, all of us happy. You understand? Because I worked hard. I worked hard and I felt I deserved that. That was my pleasure.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I gave up something I don't like doing it. Somebody loved doing it.
Mhm.
So I made her happy and she made me happy.
Exchange, yeah.
Right? So
But
in working hard, I'm saying, okay, this is the reason I worked hard, for two reasons. Because I want to reach a certain level and I
mhm.
want to live a quality life, the life I want to live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No, it's I think, Jennifer, and I'm looking because I know we have another topic to talk about and we have 15 minutes.
oh, yes,
Um,
yes,
but
yes.
I think this issue of your avatar, and if we come back
Mm.
to where we started, I think one of the things that the US presidential election may have revealed is that probably many of us, many people, us collectively around the world, we were really living forced lives behind avatars.
Yes.
You know, whether you wanted to present that I'm really cool and all this abuse that is coming down on me is not affecting me, whether you were call it a closet racist or whatever it is, and you're shocked that one party got 70 million votes and the other party got 74 when you expected one party to get 20 million votes and the other
Yeah.
to get 130 million votes. And so, you know, it really says that a big part of, I see Joe Biden as representing the third act. He is quintessential third act. And
Mhm.
getting onto that stage, true to yourself, understand what you want to present to the world, define what you are, and let the world know this is what I stand for. It helps them to understand where you're going and why you are. And I think once you're clear about your intent, you see the people who want to talk,
Yeah.
nobody listens. It's when you see inconsistencies between what you say and what you're doing that you give room for people to talk. So I say define your avatar clearly and let people know where you stand and then move on. If you have to share the house, share the house. If you have to bring in a tenant to help pay the rent, or
You
even
do
for
that.
company, you know, don't burden your children when you know they have their life to live. Don't do that, you know. So I
And of course, if they want to do it,
fine,
well and good. Great.
fine. But know who you are first,
Yeah. But, mhm.
you know. So Jennifer, exciting things coming.
Exciting, because listen, we are Christmas people, right? And we thought, what can we do? We can no longer, every year for the last 2 years, we have had our beautiful Christmas functions. So, understanding the situation, we decided to have an online marketplace. So, this is Connections 50 Plus online marketplace.
But Jennifer,
Which,
first we have to say that we were also concerned that we remember we have our 3 pillars.
Oh,
And
yes.
as people were getting into COVID, we were saying, we have to find a way to get people together. We have
To
to
socialize. Yeah.
our people together. We really missing that. So we handling two of our planks with one go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're getting together online, but not just getting together. We're going to have a lot of fun. So we are set up within this marketplace, the swap market, where we could swap things. We chat with each other. So if Terri-Ann have on the earrings, I want that earring, and she no longer want to wear it, and she prefer my costume jewelry, which she don't wear, but she might want to get it to give her a gift. You realize there's a difference there. But we could swap things that we like, and you put it on. So we asking you, you send your photo of it and we discuss it. And on the other side, we also have it, the thrift shop, where you may want to sell yourself at reasonable prices. Now we say you have something, and you have it there, you haven't touched it, you haven't used it, but you could sell it because you make some sort of money that you could maybe buy the cake and you don't have to make the cake or something like that. All right. So we are launching, and this is on. You can come up on the website by
28th.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. By tomorrow, you would see it, and we would send out the flyers that we created a group, we created a page, especially for this marketplace. So you can just go on the page. So what we would love you to do from now, right after this, to go and look around the house, the cupboards, and start seeing all the things you have there that you never used before, or you didn't like. They're still in boxes. And now, you can do something about it. We could swap it, or you can sell it.
Definitely. And remember when this first came, I think just before COVID was starting, it might have been in February or March, we had planned to do a market, an exchange market, where we always said that part of, we had a show, Cleaning House. We had a show, Cleaning House, where we are thinking of preparing to get onto the 3rd act, And so many of us look around and there's so many things that you're not going to use. And, we have to think of sustainability. We have to think of recycling. We have to think of repurposing, and we have to think of exchanging.
Definitely.
Not always money. So I had this little household business, and it's dormant. It's done now. So I have about a couple of pieces that are left, and I'm not going back into that business, but they make beautiful gifts, and I don't need to make money on it. So I'm putting out there. And if you see it and you like it, and you put up a picture of something that I want, and I'm putting out to everybody, I'm looking for a nested set of 3 tables. You see 3 nested tables, please put it up. I'm willing to swap.
Terri-Ann, I have that. I'm wondering if I'm thinking, okay, I'll think about it. I have, as you said that, I forgot I have that.
You have your nested tables? Well, we can exchange.
Let's say I haven't used that. I can't tell you. I must use that about once.
Exactly.
Now that you have said that.
Yeah, I think, I look around, and I told Jennifer earlier, I said, I have this huge collection of CDs, Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Scranta, Baron, but all of my music has been put onto my digital devices. I have this laptop is the last thing I have in my house that could play a CD, and I can't remember the last time I put.
Mine cannot.
No, I can't even play a CD.
You have to have something to put in it.
Yeah, but the music is already on Apple Music and it's there, so I don't need them. But I know there are people who have CD players, and I have a beautiful collection of music. I'm going to somebody, if you have the nested tables and you want my CD collection, I'm ready to exchange. Or you can get my CDs for $20 for 10.
I am looking for some sort of decoration by the kitchen window. So I think we will have I know we will have a lot of fun. Yes. With you posting your stuff, posting your items, you discuss, and we have that, we have fun until maybe January. I'm not sure if we could by January, we may be able to meet for the new year.
we're going to meet on the 20th, Jennifer, and I'm getting away from that.
Yeah,
we will do all of our exchanging and discussion and negotiation on the Facebook page, and on the 28th of November,
we could actually, yeah.
We're getting together to swap and trade and exchange and, you know, have a drink or two. Of course, COVID protocols observed. We will
definitely.
get a number of people and everything else, and we're going to get together and have a little fun. And
Terry, I don't mind if somebody bring to swap a cake and swap some sorrel and swap those things. That is how I'm gonna be swapping. I'm gonna be having your cake with sorrel, whatever you plan for the Christmas.
I'm going to make pastel roll. I'm going to make
yeah, you see. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we invite you all, please. Come on to the page and let's start having fun.
You see an invitation. I think we can put an invitation to the group. But when you come to the group, you are coming in and you have to have something to either swap or sell on a thrift basis.
Yes.
Now, don't want this to be any extortion kind of. It is something that you have that you don't use. There is no cost to it, so you just bring it in. I mean, if you make pastel or you make sorrel and stuff, you know, but we really want to have this swap market. Remember what I said, and if you need something, put it there. I'm looking for my tables.
And the things that Terri-Ann said, I want to reinforce. It's things you have. It's not the marketplace where someone go. You have a whole set of things to sell, and you want to come on to sell. It's not like that.
Market.
Yes.
And if we upload pictures and videos of our stuff, you know, some of us may have some beautiful. All right, I have a drawer full of scarves, you know, pashmina. I'm about 40. What am I? And that's a relic of my corporate days when I used to travel a lot.
And Terri-Ann, let me tell you,
I sell it each one for $5.
You know, many things you could do with those scarves, because scarves are in different ways. You know, I love to tie my hair. You know, I'm one to wrap my head all the time.
And for 40 is too much. I could leave myself with 10.
Well, I don't need to swap with you because I have 100 in a basket, because I'm always looking for something to wrap my head or use as, you know, around my waist or somehow. We used to also tie them, the small ones, tie it on a handbag. But let me tell you, let me share this. Terri-Ann, and I'm sharing it for when you put it on to advise those who listen. For the big ones, you can use them as tablecloths. You can throw it on the table. You could put it a throw over a blind. So you can tie the knots. And oh, by the way, I may look at it. Sorry, I have the idea for my kitchen window. You can, the pretty scarves, I'm telling you all, but that's 40, so everybody could share. We could get. You tie the knots and you wrap it, and it's just at the top. You drape it to the top. Okay, I have the idea now. Terri-Ann, I will look at the colors and I will put it together.
You have to get online fast because we're not giving any preference to each other. Because
yes,
if you put your stuff online and you arrange with someone to swap with them, you can't change and leave the person in the lurch. If you make a commitment, you make a commitment. But definitely, I think it is going to be a lot of fun.
It's fun.
As a means of clearing out a lot of stuff in my house. I am not a clutter person, and I clear out. So I am looking forward to.
And men, listen, we are yapping here, Terri-Ann and I, but also you men, you may have a lot of stuff there in the toolbox or wrong that your wives or your family want to get rid of. Jennifer, new things, new tools.
You know something, Jennifer, one of the things I have found with men, especially, you see, especially men who are coming out of the corporate world, you see those 200 ties you have?
Oh, yes.
There are young men who need them, who are in the little jobs, whether it's in the civil in the bank somewhere. Your shoes, your good leather shoes that you don't wear anymore, that dry rotten. Put it there. I have handbags. I have some beautiful handbags that are going up too, because I used to change a handbag with an outfit when I was in
we remember those days.
One bag going down the road. So
bag too much.
Yeah, it makes no sense, you know. So we are really using this swap market to put it up online, have a big discussion, and then we all meet on a day and we exchange, and we drink sorrel, and we drink some wine. And we
we have to rotate the groups. So we will be rotating the groups.
yes, you come for different periods of time.
Yes, we will rotate.
But I am excited about it. And Jennifer,
Yes.
I soaked fruits the other day. I'm going to upload to Facebook a picture of my fruits being soaked. So I soaked the fruits. We don't know what's going to happen to the fruits, huh? We don't know.
And I was saying I would swap. I'll give you something for a cake.
Now, I may make cake. I may make other things. But everybody's watching me and saying, you're making cake. And I said, I don't know. I just felt like soaking fruits. So I got very dramatic and I soaked fruits. So I'm going to post that as my,
Okay.
It looks so pretty. It looks like a decoration to me. So I might have it as a centerpiece on the table for Christmas Day. And every day I'm having one raisin and so on. And I find it's a beautiful cocktail.
Well, you're soaking rum, or you're soaking whiskey, or you soak it in wine, no?
It's
Or the traditional cherry brandy.
Cherry brandy rum is a real traditional mix. And normally I soak my fruits in some kind of different spirits, but this time it's traditional, but the fruits are not traditional. The what I've soaked is not traditional, but and it tastes so great. So I think every day I'm just having some fruits.
Sounds exciting. You see? Terri-Ann will be excited about that. Not me. I'm not soaking anything.
So
I'm swapping.
We see what happens to it. I might serve soaked fruits as a shot. That might be our entertainment. May very well turn out to be part of our entertainment.
Yeah, so we can be creative.
After I have the fruits frozen, I think I can freeze them and use them as ice cubes in a little sorrel or something.
Okay.
Idea.
So thanks, Terri-Ann. We're really looking forward for you all to participate. This would be a lot of fun, right?
Oh.
And a way for you to do some clearance.
So Jennifer, we are out of time.
Yes.
So from Guyana, come up to Trinidad, to the Windwards, Barbados, up the Leewards, to our ABCs, no, the ABCs of South America, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Martin, St. Eustatius, a mix up one. And then on to the Greater Antilles, into Belize, Jamaica at the bottom, Bahamas on top, Cayman Islands.
I let Terri-Ann do that because I can't remember all those names, right? So she's the historian and she's the one who will be doing all that.
One out for the front of me and rattle up the Errol, send the list of islands for me and rattle them off.
So thanks so much. Nice having you all again with us this evening. And we're just saying bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Great.
50 Plus Tribe and follow us from TNT and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus Wednesday Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like and share our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback.
Bye for now.